That is how much faster John Korir ran Boston than the record that had survived 15 years. Not 7 seconds, not 20, 70 full seconds. He ran so fast that all three men on the podium broke the old record, a mark that no runner on Earth could touch for 15 years. And the story behind that number starts with Korir bleeding on the ground. April 21st, 2025, Boston Marathon. Starting line in Hopkinton. Before the race even begins, John Korir hits the road. Hard. His hand cuts open. His knee scrapes the pavement. The entire lead pack runs away from him in seconds. Most runners would have quit. The gap was too big. The pain was real. But Korir got up, found his pace, and started chasing. By mile 20, he was in front of the whole field. He crossed the line in 2 hours, 4 minutes, and 45 seconds. His brother Wesley was waiting at the finish. That moment meant more than just a win. Wesley Korir had won the same race 13 years earlier, in 2012. Now John had done it too. They became the first brothers in Boston Marathon history to both win the race. That is the kind of family this is. And 2025 was just the beginning. Before 2026, you need to know what happened between the two Boston wins, because that gap nearly ended John Korir completely. In October 2024, Korir ran 2 hours, 2 minutes, and 44 seconds at the Chicago Marathon. That made him the 6th fastest marathoner in history at that point. He won Chicago. He was healthy. He was building something real. Then in October 2025, he went back to defend that Chicago title. A stomach cramp hit at the worst moment. He slowed. The pack came back. He dropped out. First DNF in years. Most athletes take months to come back from something like that. Korir took 6 weeks. On December 7, 2025, he lined up in Valencia, Spain. He ran 2 hours, 2 minutes, and 24 seconds. That was the 8th fastest marathon time in history on a record-eligible course. He won by nearly 2 minutes. After the race, he said, "I know some people may have thought the Korir family name is going down, but I had to come here and prove to them that Korir is still there." That was the warning. Nobody listened. Boston 2026 had the strongest field in the race's 130-year history. World champion Alphonse Simbu of Tanzania was there. Benson Kipruto, the 2021 Boston winner, was there. Milkesha Mengesha, the 2024 Berlin Marathon champion, was there. All of them hungry, all of them ready. For 20 miles, nobody moved. Then came Heartbreak Hill. Heartbreak Hill sits at mile 20. It is the point in a marathon where the legs go heavy, the energy runs out, and the body starts to break down. The finish is still 6 miles away. Runners who have been flying all day suddenly feel like they are carrying weight. It has ended more races than any other stretch of road on the course. Remember that, because what Korir did there is the whole story. He did not slow down. He surged. He went from the group directly to the front in a matter of strides. Mengesha fell back. Simbu fell back. Kipruto fell back. By the top of the hill, Korir was alone. At 35 kilometers, his lead was 26 seconds. At 40 kilometers, it was 43 seconds. He ran his final mile in 4 minutes and 26 seconds. Before he crossed the finish line on Boylston Street, he looked back, stuck his tongue out, and spread his arms wide. He crossed in 2 hours, 1 minute, and 52 seconds. Geoffrey Mutai's course record from 2011 had stood for 15 years. Nobody had come close to it. Korir beat it by 70 seconds. And Simbu finished second in a time that also beat the old record. Kipruto was third, also faster. All 3 men on the podium ran faster than any Boston finisher in 15 years. 13 men finished under 2 hours and 6 seconds total, one of the deepest finishes in Boston history. Korir said after crossing the line, "I knew I would defend my title, but I did not know I could run that fast." Here is what most people miss about Korir. His signature workout, shared by his coach before Boston, starts with a 3-kilometer run at race pace effort, then 4 times 400 meters fast, then back to another 3 kilometers hard, then 4 more 400-meter repeats. His first 3-kilometer block came in at 8 minutes and 42 seconds. His last 3-kilometer block ran at around 8 minutes and 50 seconds. Each 400-meter repeat was done in 62 seconds flat. Most elite runners do their fast work when they are fresh. Korir runs hard, then runs fast, then runs hard again. His legs learn to produce speed when they are already tired. That is exactly what happened at Heartbreak Hill. His body knew what to do, because it had done it hundreds of times in training. Think back to the DNF in Chicago. Think back to Valencia 6 weeks later. Think back to bleeding on the start line in 2025, and still crossing first. Korir is 29 years old. He has now won Boston twice in a row. He holds the course record. He is the first man alive to defend the Boston title and break the course record in the same year. The world marathon record is 2 hours, 0 minutes, and 35 seconds, set by Kelvin Kiptum in Chicago in 2023. Korir has run 2 hours, 1 minute, and 52 seconds at Boston, a course that does not count for world record purposes because of its layout. But Chicago is flat, and Korir already knows how to win there. The gap to the world record is 77 seconds. That number is shrinking. And every time someone tries to count John Korir out, he shows up and runs a time that makes the whole sport stop and look twice.
February 19th, 2026. Lieven, France. A packed arena. 3 world record attempts were on the card that night. Femke Ball pulled out of her 600-meter record attempt. Jessica Hull fell short in her assault. The entire weight of the night fell on one woman's shoulders. And she didn't just handle it, she made history. Keely Hodgkinson crossed the line in 1 minute 54.87 seconds, the first woman in history to break the 1:55 barrier indoors. She didn't just clip the record, she smashed it by almost a full second. A record that had stood untouched for 24 years was gone. And the craziest part? The previous world record was set on March 3, 2002, the exact day Keely Hodgkinson was born. That record existed her entire life, and she is the one who finally took it down. The old record belonged to Jolanda Čeplak from Slovenia, clocked at 1:55.82 at the European Indoor Championships in Vienna, Austria. It was an extraordinary race, a battle between Čeplak and Stephanie Graf, from gun to tape, with Čeplak pulling away on the home straight to set a mark that nobody touched for over 2 decades. Nobody broke 1:56 indoors in that entire span. That record looked permanent. It looked untouchable, until Keely showed up. Before we get to Lieven, you need to understand what Keely went through to get there. After winning Olympic gold in Paris 2024, everything fell apart. She tore her hamstring, then tore it again, and again. A trip to Windsor Castle to collect her MBE led to an 8-hour car ride that wrecked her back and triggered another hamstring problem. She went 376 days without racing. She later called 2025 an absolute nightmare of a year, but she came back in August 2025 at a Diamond League race in Poland and won with the fastest 800-meter time in the world that year. Days later, she won again in Lausanne. By September, she grabbed bronze at the World Championships in Tokyo, despite barely racing all season. She ended her year winning in New York, where Serena Williams placed a Tiffany crown on her head. That was the signal. Keely was back. Then came 2026, and a completely different athlete showed up. On February 14th, at the UK Indoor Championships in Birmingham, she ran the 800 meters entirely alone. No competition, no rabbit, just Keely against the clock. She clocked 1:56.33, a new British indoor record, and left everyone thinking a world record attempt was not just possible, but imminent. 5 days later, she was in Lieven and confirmed exactly that. What made this attempt different was the confidence behind it. Keely didn't ask for the pace lights to be set at the current world record pace of 1:55.82. She requested them to be set at an astonishing 1:53.8. That tells you everything about where her head was at. Right from the gun, she burst ahead of the pacer in the first 100 meters, forcing the pacer to sprint just to get back in front. Audrey Wero, the 21-year-old Swiss star, got out fast and for a brief moment looked like she might challenge for the spot behind the pacer. But Keely's presence, when she is on her game, is something else entirely, and Wero quickly settled back. The pacer scorched the first 200-meter lap in 26.47 seconds, a time more appropriate for a men's race. Keely was right there in pursuit. The pace settled slightly on the second lap with a 29.09 split, putting the 400-meter mark at 55.56 seconds, already ahead of the old world record pace. The pacer dropped out shortly after. From that point, it was just Keely Hodgkinson alone against history. She gapped Wiro before the 500-meter mark, split another 29.5 for the third lap, and headed into the final 200 meters with a real shot at going under 1:54. She tied up in the home straight. The effort showed on her face, but she held on. 1:54.87. The crowd erupted. Keely dropped to the track completely out of breath. Then she saw someone walking toward her holding the world record sign, and she jumped straight to her feet and started celebrating. She told reporters afterward, "That was really fun. I've been looking forward to this for a good few weeks." On the birthday coincidence, she said it almost felt a bit weird that the record was set the day she was born and 24 years later she breaks it. Then she added, "I think there's still more to push." That line is not just talk. Her new indoor world record of 1:54.87 is only 0.26 seconds slower than her outdoor personal best. The outdoor world record, set by Jarmila Kratichvilova in 1983, stands at 1:53.28. That record is the oldest remaining world record in track and field. Jordan Anthony just walked into the biggest indoor track meet in America, lined up next to the Olympic champion, beat him by 0.06 seconds, and then told him to find a new hobby. He is 21 years old. It is his first professional season, and he was completely calm the whole time. On March 1st, 2026, at the Ocean Breeze Athletic Complex in Staten Island, New York, the USATF Indoor Championships gave the sprint world a moment nobody saw coming. The men's 60-meter final had three serious names on the start list. Trayvon Bromell, a former 2016 World Indoor Champion and one of the most dangerous starters in the history of the event. Noah Lyles, the reigning Olympic 100-meter gold medalist, four-time 200-meter world champion, and the undisputed face of American track and field. And then there was Anthony, a rookie, a kid from Tylertown, Mississippi, who grew up dreaming about the Heisman Trophy, not a national sprint title. When the gun fired, Anthony exploded out of the blocks, hit the 30-meter mark in control, and never looked back. He crossed the line in 6.45 seconds. Bromell finished second in 6:47. Lyles, the man who owns 8 world titles and an Olympic gold medal, finished third in 6:51. The rookie beat the king, and the sport has not been the same since. To understand how big this is, you have to understand who Noah Lyles actually is. This is not just a fast guy. Lyles won the 100-meter gold at the 2024 Paris Olympics, ending a long drought for American sprinting. He holds the American record in the 200 meters at 19.31 seconds, set at the 2022 World Athletics Championships. He has been the loudest, most dominant, most entertaining sprinter on the planet for years. He created the championship belt celebration. He built a brand. He is a cultural icon in a sport that rarely produces them. And before this race, Lyles had not even competed at the USATF Indoor Championships in over 9 years. His last appearance was back in 2018 in Albuquerque, New Mexico, where he finished 9th. So when he showed up in 2026, he came with a message. He told reporters that anyone who thought he was letting that belt go somewhere else simply did not know Noah Lyles. He said he was going all out from the very start of the season. He was not scared of anyone. That is the man Jordan Anthony just beat. Now here is what makes Anthony's story different from every other rising star narrative you have heard. He was not even supposed to be a sprinter. He was a wide receiver. He played football at 3 different colleges: University of Kentucky, Texas A&M, and finally University of Arkansas. He had 8 catches, 111 yards, and a touchdown at Arkansas. Real football, real games. He once said that if you told him years ago he would be a professional sprinter, he would have laughed in your face. He kept grinding in both sports until track completely took over. And when it did, that football mentality came with it. The explosiveness, the composure under pressure, the ability to perform in crucial moments. Those are not track skills, those are football skills. And they translate perfectly into the 60 meters, a race that is decided entirely in the first half by reaction time, drive phase, and raw acceleration. His 2025 college season was a warning that most people ignored. He won the NCAA indoor title in the 60 meters. Then he went outdoors and won the NCAA title in the 100 meters. He became the first sprinter since 2017 to pull off that double in the same season. He swept the 100 at the SEC Championships, running 9.95 and 19.93. He won the Bowerman Award, the most prestigious honor in college track. During his speech, he said, "A football player winning the Bowerman. That's crazy." Then he signed with Adidas, turned professional, and moved to Florida to train under coach Lance Brahman alongside Noah Lyles himself. Every single day, these two are in the same facility, competing against each other in practice. That detail matters more than people realize. But 2026 did not start perfectly for Anthony. On February 1st, he raced at the Millrose Games and finished third. People immediately started saying he had already lost his edge, that he had fallen off before he even got started. His response was not to argue. He used it as fuel. 2 weeks later, on February 13th, at the Tyson Invitational in Fayetteville, Arkansas, he ran 6.43 seconds. That time made him the fastest man in the world in the 60 meters for 2026 and ranked him as the 10th fastest sprinter ever recorded at the distance. He went from being counted out to being the world leader in 14 days. Then he went to Staten Island and won the national title. After the race, Lyles handed Anthony the championship belt personally. The symbolism was obvious. Then Anthony spoke to NBC Sports and did not hold back. He said, "I looked to my right and my left, and I was like, I don't hear Noah. I don't see Trayvon. Gigi's in the chat. New generation is taking over. Today was the day I had to give them their eviction notice." And when asked about training alongside Lyles, he kept it honest. "I enjoy training with Noah. Of course we're going to talk smack. The sport is soft if we don't. I'm bringing football mentality. He's just bringing old age right now." He called the Olympic champion old on national television at 21 years old. Ice cold. Anthony now heads to Torun, Poland for the 2026 World Indoor Championships from March 20th to March 22nd, entering as the world leader in the 60 meters. Kashane Thompson of Jamaica, the Olympic 100-meter silver medalist,